Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Box Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be building a chair from Dowinx. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at a gaming chair from Dowinx. Now, it's possibly a brand you've not heard of. It's a relatively new brand on the market, and they reached out to us and said, Mike, would you like to test out one of our chairs? Just pick a colour and we'll send one out to you for review purposes. So I've looked at it and thought, well, it's just a gaming chair. Gaming chair is a gaming chair, right? Well, possibly not in this particular instance, as we'll be finding out a little bit later on. This particular chair has got something up its sleeve which I've not seen in any other gaming chair so far. So that is why we're doing a review on it. So first of all, let's go through what you get actually in the box. So you get obviously all the equipment. You get the seat back itself, which is done in a really nice PU kind of leather with stitching on it. Also, the base is very well padded. Again, similar type of stitching on it, so that looks really, really nice. And there's options of different colours. So there is a black and red, there's a white, brown, etc., etc. So you can choose whichever one suits you. Also, you've got two really nicely padded armrests, which is a little bit different these days. Also, you get some really nice casters on the chair, so it should aid mobility. And also, you get a cushion on the back, which is nothing new, but this one has a USB cable. And there's a very good reason for that. This is actually a massaging chair. So not only is it for gaming and for being comfortable and for watching movies, all those kinds of things, it does have a full 180-degree recline. So if you want to, hell, you can even sleep on the thing. But if you're playing those long gaming sessions or video editing sessions or just on your PC for long amounts of time and your back's getting a little bit stiff because you haven't moved around a little bit, there isn't a chair on the planet which will actually help out with that. But with the aid of a little bit of massage, should improve things dramatically. So let's go through putting this thing together and then we'll take it for a test drive and see what it's actually like. Okay, so you've seen how the chair goes together, and as you can see, I am now firmly sat in it. And I've got to say, this is possibly one of the most comfortable chairs I've sitting in pretty much as long as I can remember. It is extremely comfortable. So if you're looking for comfort in a chair, definitely this needs to be on your shopping list. So this is the Dowinx gaming chair, the 6689 is the actual model number. I'm going to drill through some of the specs. I've made some notes on my screen off camera there just so I can refer to them, because some of it's not very easy to remember. And I'm sure there's tons and tons of questions that you guys and girls may actually have. So starting with the seat cushion is about 4.5 inches thick, and it's got that sort of memory foam type feel to it. It actually feels an awful lot like a motorcycle seat. So if you've ever ridden a motorcycle, they've normally got extremely comfortable seats with that really nice stretchy kind of almost like faux leather material, which is kind of soft, comfortable, and obviously if you're riding a motorbike, it needs to be pretty comfortable for those long journeys. And this chair, I think, takes a lot of that design kind of ethos or that kind of feel from a motorcycle. So yeah, if you're into riding motorbikes, you know what a motorbike seat feels like, a nice comfortable one, then this is going to feel very, very familiar. The actual material they're using, the kind of normalized leather, I think they call it, it's actually really nice and soft and supple. It doesn't have that kind of plasticky feel that you get from some of those other gaming chairs, where it's kind of like a plastic leather and they've put some kind of plastic coating on it on top to protect it. So it feels kind of stiff and doesn't really mold you very well. Whereas this actually feels like a kind of weird combination of leather, rubber, and possibly lycra. It's a really unusual feeling, but it is very, very stretchy, and it does kind of comply with your body a lot. So if you're moving around, sitting around, it just feels really, really comfortable, even for longer durations. Now, I've sat in this chair for a couple of hours straight, watching movies on Amazon Prime, etc. And normally I wouldn't do that. I'd normally have to get up and walk around and sort of stretch my back or whatever, but it's actually really, really comfortable. And even for sitting down, longer gaming periods, video editing, that sort of stuff, you're going to find this chair extremely comfortable. So going back to some of the specs, we've got those plastic casters. The casters themselves, actually, I looked at them first of all, I thought they're a bit skinny, they didn't look particularly strong, but actually they work really well, and even going over kind of joins between rooms, like between laminate and carpet, that kind of thing, or bumps on uneven floors, they actually glide really, really well. So the casters are really well done, despite the fact they look a little bit on the small side. Also, weight-wise, now weight is going to be something which some of you are going to be interested in. So this is rated up to £300. So that's around about 22 stone here in the UK. So even if you're a slightly larger fellow, so I'm in and around the sort of 14 stone mark, sadly at the moment. So yeah, 22 stone those are some pretty big guys and girls. So yeah, if you're in that sort of weight limit, then it's going to be absolutely fine. Height-wise is another thing which you may be interested in. So height-wise, again, everyone's slightly different with the length of your legs, etc., proportions, but realistically, if you're anywhere between kind of 5'3" and probably about 6'2", this is going to be absolutely fine for you. The actual seat base itself has got quite a deep base to it, so if your top part of your legs is a little bit longer, then you're going to find it very, very comfortable. So yeah, between around about 5'3", so I guess that covers most people, to be honest with you, and up to 6'2", which is, again, pretty large. The metal frame itself is all really good. Some people complain that you could feel it from behind, but I guess really it's not one of those things that I would go looking for. It certainly feels very sturdy, very strong, and sort of lateral and sideways movements and all that, very, very good. Now, one thing I did notice from other people's reviews of this particular chair is the fact that they complained about it creaking. Now, actually, I did come across that after my first installation. After about a week or so, I noticed there was a definite creak to it, but now, as you can see, there's virtually no noise to it at all. Now, what I found was necessary is after the first installation, when everything starts bedding in a little bit, remove the plastic covers off the side and just really tighten up those bolts and nuts with the Allen keys, or maybe just get a separate one with a little bit more torque on it. If you torque up those nuts really tight, then it becomes a completely different chair. All the creaks, and I even said to Kath a few times, I was there messing around a bit and adjusting it, and saying, oh, this chair, I didn't have creaky. But taking it apart a little bit, just taking those side covers off, redoing the bolts on the side, much improved. So definitely worth recommending doing that periodically. It's a very simple, straightforward thing to do, just a couple of bolts on the side to take the plastic out, as you've seen from the video. So yeah, definitely worth doing that if your chair is starting to have a few little creaks and groans, etc., etc. Something else which we should mention is the kind of the floor to seat base. So the floor to seat base is anywhere between kind of 17 to 21 inches. So 17 inches on its lowest setting. At the highest setting, you're looking around about 21 inches. So that is from the actual seat base itself to the floor. So again, you can take your measurements and see if that works out for you. I've got it on the lowest setting. I'm reasonably short-ish person. I'm around about 5'9", 5'10". So for me on the lowest setting, it just feels comfortable. When I'm in a car, I do the same thing. I always set it kind of quite close and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, your mileage may vary, as they say. So reclining wise, reclines around about 175 to 180 degrees. It feels like it's more than that. It actually feels like it reclines kind of lower down than that, but it is virtually kind of completely flat. So if you want to go to sleep in the chair or maybe have a slight incline, maybe about 160 degrees, absolutely perfect. So if you're one of those people that is working away in office or at your computer desk and you just want to have a quick nap, this is going to be absolutely fine for sleeping on. Very, very stable. Even someone like myself who's about 14 stone, even leaning right back and actually trying to topple the chair, it doesn't want to topple over. It's very, very sturdy, very, very, it just feels really comfortable, very strong, which is slightly unusual. Some of the chairs you get in, you kind of recline them back and you start going back and you're thinking, oh God, is it going to go? But actually this chair does inspire a lot of confidence in that regard. If you don't want to fully recline it and you just want that tilt sensation, then you can do. There's a lock-in mechanism in the side so you can have it locked, which I think it is currently in. So there's a little bit of movement, very small amount. If you want to, you can pull the bar out on the bottom and that gives you up to 15 degrees of recline, so you can adjust that. Also, there's a tension adjuster on the bottom, so you can adjust the tension. So if you're one of those people that doesn't want it to be kind of unnaturally falling back easily, you can tighten it up so it's a little bit firmer. Or if you're one of those people who wants it to kind of fall back a little bit easier, then you can adjust the tension that way. So really adjustable, really flexible for pretty much every kind of seating style. So I think that's pretty much it for the specs of the chair. Again, if you've got any comments or questions, put them in the comment section below. Let's take a look at some of the things you get with it. So obviously you get a welcome leaflets in the thing here with various things for following, etc. There was in there as well a installation guide and servicing guide, all that kind of stuff. The installation, as you can see, very, very simple, very, very straightforward. All the tools are required. I didn't need to crack out the toolkit or anything, everything was there. And also they do include some spares. So there's a spare O-ring, which is for the seat extension for the leg rest. So that's handy. And there's a separate screw as well, should you need one for the side panels, that kind of stuff. So there's a few spares included, which is awesome. Let's talk about what makes this chair a little bit different from other chairs on the market, and that is the massage feature. So this is the lumbar support, which we've got here. Sorry about this dragging along the floor there. So this is a really cool thing. It actually transforms the chair entirely. Now I haven't got this on the chair at the moment, as you can tell, and already it doesn't feel quite as comfortable as it did. So this actually does make a massive amount of difference. So again, this is made in that same material, so it's that kind of memory foam, which is really nice and supple. And you've got that really, really nice, almost kind of carbon fibre-esque look to it, which you can see in certain angles. You've probably seen it from some of the B-roll. And you've got the logos which are embroidered on. It's not printed or embossed, it is actually embroidered. So again, really, really nice. The finish of all of this chair is really, really nice. So looking at the side section, you've got this USB cable which comes out the side. So I've disconnected the USB part of it at the moment. So if you're one of those people that maybe doesn't want to use the massage all the time, you can quite simply just disconnect the rest of the cable and have that tucked down the side so it's not going to get caught or snagged. And if you want to take it out, you can unzip the back here, and that is basically what does it. That is what makes this chair so different. So this is a really, really strong vibrating motor. So what I'm going to do is I've got the USB cable here and I've got a battery bank, so I'm going to quickly plug that in. The cable itself is actually long enough, so if you're sat at your desk, you can plug it into your PC's USB pretty easily. So the cable itself is roughly about 1.5 meters long, I guess, with the total extension. So if you say roughly 1 meter, it's absolutely fine. So from me here, sat here, it will reach over to the camera to the other side of this table. So yeah, you've got a pretty long length on there, so you should be able to attach this to most kind of PCs, gaming devices, or if you want to, you can just use a power bank. So I'm going to plug it into this power bank right now, and you'll be able to hear what the actual motor is like. It is quite impressive. So you can get an idea. If I put it on the desk, you'll hear it. Yeah, it's got quite a lot of power to it, and it does actually change, as you can probably hear from the frequency now. So it does spin up and spin down depending on how much pressure is actually put on the foam in the back as well. So there's sometimes where I had it in the chair and it literally felt like it wasn't on anymore, but it was doing it at such a kind of high frequency that you couldn't tell. So let me unplug that for now. This is probably doing things to the camera that it shouldn't do. So yeah, essentially all we do is slip this into the back. There is a cutout into the kind of memory foam in there, so just stick that in and zip her up. And that is it, essentially, you're ready to go. Just put that behind you. It does make a massive difference. It is a really nice feeling. Again, because it kind of oscillates in the way that it works, depending on the pressure on the back of the chair. If you've got a slightly aching back, it's just really nice, really relaxing. Overall, with the comfort of the chair itself, the massage as well, it really is a joy to behold. So that's the positives. Let's talk about some of the negatives. Now, obviously, some of the negatives we've addressed slightly already, which is the slight creaking that some people have experienced, but that was remedied by tightening up the bolts. The other negative for some people is going to be the armrests. Now, for me personally, I thought it would be a massive issue. Some people would like to have those 3D or 4D armrests where you've got lots of adjustment, etc. But I actually find them to be very, very comfortable. Again, the padding in them is extremely good. So compared with some of those other chairs on the market where they've got those kind of more molded sections, they're pretty uncomfortable and can be quite abrasive on your elbows, that sort of thing. Whereas this is just really nice, it's really padded, and for me personally, it just feels very, very natural. Now, when I'm sat there gaming, it's fine. Again, use your elbows, you can have your control pad, it just feels really comfy. When I'm actually working, then again, I rest my arms on armrests. I actually find myself using the armrests on this chair probably more than I did on the ones with the 4Ds, because you kind of end up either moving them, adjusting them, twisting them, whatever, to get in the right position. Whereas these, they just feel like they're in a good place. Even if you're reclining, they do move as well backwards. So again, it's very, very easy. The one thing I would say is the bolts on the side again, you may find after a week or so of using the chair, you might want to just tighten up the bolts again to take up any slack. There is, you probably can't see it particularly well, but there is a little bit of movement in those arms on the sides, which they are kind of articulated, and there's bearings in the sections where the bolts go through. So there does have to be a little bit of play in there, but certainly it's not enough to make it feel kind of unsturdy or as if it's falling apart. It just, I guess it aids it for reclining, etc., as you can see from some of the B-roll where it's been moving around. So for me, that's probably one of the biggest issues. If you've got a desk which isn't particularly high and you have the chair on its full extent at 21 inches, you are going to find that the actual armrests are going to hit into most desks. Now, if I pull this in very close, you can see this, well, I can't really get much closer and the arms are actually clearing the table. But on my computer desk over there, where I've got a slightly lower keyboard tray, that sometimes is an issue. But again, do you really want to be that close to your desk that the arms are kind of there? That's going to be cutting off at your waist level. So depending on how you're sitting at your desk, yeah, you may find that an issue. Certainly, if they were more adjustable, that would be beneficial. But even saying that, on some of the 4D chairs I've had, they've been in a position where the lowest bit wasn't quite low enough and the highest bit wasn't quite high enough to go over the desk. So I think this is actually a really nice compromise. Ultimately, it's about comfort. If you're sitting in a chair, comfort should be your main priority. Keeping your posture correct, keeping you comfortable for longer periods and allowing you to get on and do your work without fidgeting to try and get into a comfortable position. And in that regard, this chair ticks that box very, very well. So there will be some affiliated links in the video description below. There's also some discount codes as well. So if you've got all the way through to the video and you're thinking, yeah, Mike, I think I want to try that chair, well, you're lucky, because there's going to be some discount codes in the video description. Not entirely sure how long those discount codes are going to last for, so if for some reason you go to the site and it doesn't work, then just ping me an email, mike@mikesunboxing.com, and I'll see what I can do for you, or alternatively contact the manufacturer and see what the deal is. They may have another code or another discount voucher that is optional. So please let me know what you think about this chair in the comment section below. Is the idea of kind of semi-fixed arms a deal breaker for you, or is it something that you would actually prefer? I've got to be honest with you, I was hesitant about this chair with those side arms, and it's given me a completely different perspective on this style of chair now. So again, let me know what you think in the video description below. But in the meantime, I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.